difference between these two. But we're going to keep on going with the AI because this is my favorite segment of the day, and I hope everybody has done their homework because we are now going to look at the CEO of Anthropic, and he says the following.
Now, getting to kind of the job side of this, I do have a fair amount of concern about this. On one hand, I think comparative advantage is a very powerful tool. If I look at coding, programming, which is one area where AI is making the most progress, what we are finding is we are not far from a world, I think we'll be there in 3 to 6 months, where AI is writing 90% of the code. And then in 12 months, we may be in a world where AI is writing essentially all of the code.
So, is AI going to be writing essentially all of the code in 1 year from today? Oh, gosh, TJ, right off the rip.
I'm ready.
TJ.
Yes, it will be because people will be able to generate 1 billion lines of code in an instant, and it will all be slop, but it doesn't matter because by the metric of who's written almost all of the code, it will be AI. It will be impossible for me to keep up. I cannot write 1 billion lines per day.
It's a fact. You know what, TJ, there's actually... There might be an accidental truth here because he didn't say it technically.
Accidental? What do you mean?
Well, what I mean is that I assume from his side, he's actually saying that all companies need to adjust right now. Like all of your engineers are effectively going to be not as valuable. It's actually going to be the tool that they're selling that happens to be where all the value's at. Your engineers are really just the cart driver, but it's the goods that are really, and the cart itself that you kind of want to purchase. But it might just be that, TJ. That is so much overwhelming code going to be generated that people who are not using that or people that are even editing it are so far behind by accident. He is correct. And in 12 months, it will be just so large that it'll be like 0.1% will be hand artisanal code and impossible to keep up with. Now, Casey, I know you love AI, and so you're probably going to side with this guy in probably a shorter time frame. Do you think that you will be writing your C and your game engine and your optimizations with AI within the next 12 months?
Oh man. So the weird thing is you always pick these like very complicated topics and then you're like, we're gonna get through it in 10 minutes, guys. I have no idea what AI is gonna do in the future. I've said this many times. The current kind of AI that they've got is never gonna do much, in my opinion. Like when I've looked at the current AI that they've got, basically what it is it's able to sort of mush stuff together in a way that the code that it's generating shouldn't probably have existed. So it's generating code that a better programmer wouldn't have even had that layer that's there, right? They would have done something much better that didn't require the code that the AI actually put in there. So AI right now is not generating very usable code from the standpoint of actually doing a good job. But on the flip side, the average programmer in their job is also not generating that kind of code. Like they are mostly doing that kind of glue layer stuff that really shouldn't have been there, but it's because you're going to use this library and this high-level database thing and whatever, and you're going to mush them together, and they're sort of sometimes going to work, and they're going to have a bunch of exploits because the quoting doesn't work and all this other stuff, right? And the AI can easily generate that code. So when people talk about how much code is going to be written by AI, I'm never quite sure what they mean. If they mean AI will eventually get to the point where it can actually totally do that job, I vaguely believe you. I can't say for sure that I think that will happen, but I could believe that that would happen in a year. If you mean that the AI is actually going to write any actually new code that's useful, like it's going to actually do a better job writing this PNG reader than a human would have done or whatever, I don't believe you because I haven't seen any evidence of that yet. It doesn't mean it can't happen. I just think it's going to need, like, it could happen, but it's going to require them to make some breakthroughs. And it's impossible for me to predict when breakthroughs will happen. Maybe the breakthrough happens next week, and then we can have it in a year. Maybe the breakthrough doesn't happen for 10 years, and then we don't have it for an entire decade. And I just don't know, right? I don't work in that field, so I don't want to make predictions about their breakthroughs. So that's my honest opinion about it. I think, I wouldn't want to be out there saying that in 3 months it's going to write 95% of the code. But, like I said, I'm not even sure what that really is talking about, so it's hard for me to say.
So, Casey, why can't you just embrace the vibe? Honestly, that's what I'm hearing right now is you're just not embracing the vibe
Killing
and being
vibes,
the vibe
man.
coder. Yeah, dude. I actually feel like a level down right now. Yeah. Vibe kill right now. I don't even think I can program for the rest of the day after hearing you. talk about this.
If my AI is down, I can't either. I got two points along with Casey's thing. The first one is I have yet to see like a long running LLM kind of thing where it's not guided by humans. There's no expertise involved, where it and we want to say like reduces the entropy of the system. Does it actually take something that's complex and make it simpler? Does it work towards a goal of making it simpler, or does it simply add on things on top and make them more complicated? If it can never reduce entropy, then my earlier prediction / joke will come true, because it will have to continue generating billions of lines of code to continue to wrap all of the complicated stuff, like until it can solve. So if it can't do that, then I don't see human expertise being useless, right? Which is kind of like what sometimes people pull out from this, which is not true. Like, it could be that the AI writes all the code and my expertise is still very useful, right? That's a separate question. And then the second one is, once like Anthropic or, ChatGPT or whoever, when they can finally make a chat app better than T3.chat, shout out Theo, right? Then I'll believe that their LLMs are good enough to take my job. Because like, why are they not making their own products good? Like, why can they not make a chat app good?
Well, there's the related question, which is, if you actually thought that you could ship something that could generate all this code, why are you giving it to anybody? Why don't you just use it to make all of the products yourself, and then you can capture all of these giant markets? The lie that's sort of underlying it is very clear at that, because you're like, oh, actually what you want to do is just make something barely good enough that an engineer might use it and then sell it to them. So you clearly don't really have any plans to make this thing be actually good enough to take their job, because they're your customer and you kind of want them to buy it. So you want as many of them as possible. So not only do you want them to be buying it and needing a human there, you don't even want to reduce the number of humans that do it. You want to keep that number as big as possible, because that's where your paycheck comes from, right?
Yeah,
so it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I've said before, like OpenAI you will never find out that they have like proper AGI, whatever that means, from a press announcement. You will find out when they've remade your business in an afternoon. Like, that's when you'll know, because it will just be a matter of compute. So they're not going to tell you, by the way, hey, Microsoft, we reinvented you. Hey, Amazon, we reinvented you today. Airbnb, we reinvent. Like, they are just going to do that and say, congrats, we're the first ever quadrillion company. We are all the companies. Like, they're not going to give you that shovel. They're just going to use it for themselves, right?
Yep. I do like that idea of entropy and all of that, TJ, where it's just a continual addition to the code base, because we were talking about that, Casey, where we actually walked through some code and we saw exactly that, which is, as of right now, every single instruction that I gave it was just additional new lines and layers onto the code base, where you could evidently see that. And so, and also the T3 chat thing, it is so true. It's like, how it just goes to show the difference between expertise and pretty good, because I would argue that the people working on the UI and stuff at OpenAI, at Cloud, any of these, they're probably pretty dang good engineers.
Better than us. Yeah,
better than us, for sure. For real. We've already tried, and like, even with Tailwind, I'm like, ugh, but obviously, like, Theo's whole thing is making like these UIs nice and very, very nice. And he just went and showed that he outclassed all of them by himself. And so therefore, or with one or two engineers or whatever it is, but they don't have this multi-billion-dollar budget. He was, off with a few engineers, probably working on very different wage scale, and was able to outcompete them. So it does show that there's like a whole realm of human ingenuity and expertise that is like hyper valuable still at this point. Now, Trash, we haven't heard anything from you.
I know you guys talk too much.
No, I keep
Trash,
hearing your keys click around. Can you shut up with your keys clicking? Yeah, I hear that, Mr. Clickety-Clacky over there. I can tell because you're unengaged, looking to the side.
No, that's not. I'm listening, and I'm trying to find a time to jump in.
Okay, then get in. It's like double dutch. You can't wait for double dutch
to
open up.
Well, this is actually how I am at real stand-up, just completely tuned out and just ready for someone to, waiting for the screen to just turn black, and I'm like, oh, the meeting end, and then I go do something else. Okay, but actually, my whole take of this is I'm not very concerned. If anyone has been part of a company that has existed more than 3 years, they know that there's a legacy system that is completely undocumented. Nobody knows what does what, tribal knowledge out to wazoo. There's absolutely no way that this LLM can go in and figure out what this like library did that this engineer did 10 years ago and he quit like last week and he named all his functions wrong. Like there's just no way. So for those reasons, like I was born in legacy code. Like my specialty is to go into
Do it in the
complete
Bang
schlop
voice.
and just figure it out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
what you're trying to
For
say
those
is
reasons-
that Netflix engineers produce complete slop.
we gotta stop saying that. We gotta stop saying those words.
Trash is saying
Flip,
ex
flip.
Netflix engineers produce
Netflix engineer.
No.
Full-time streamer, Trash Dev.
Can't wait to join the podcast full time.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
happy to have you, Trash. Welcome to the pod. You will be seeing
You
this
all
every
are the
week.
worst. But you know what I'm saying though, right? Like you've all been part of legacy code that's just like pure tribal knowledge. It's like it's insane. So like I haven't seen like an actual case of that happening. I know like Meta said they fired a bunch of people, so maybe they got it to work internally. I don't know. But for like apps that you're using like open source technology and all that stuff, I think it's gonna be a lot easier for AI to write those apps probably because they're well documented, lots of code bases to reference probably. But like, you know, for a company that's not Netflix, that's also big, you know what I'm saying? Like there's just no way in my mind. But if it happens, you know, I'm more than happy to join the pod full time.
Yeah,
That's
do
lovely.
like I'm not saying it's never gonna happen. It's just when the prediction is like 3 months from now. That's like
that's crazy.
That's really fast. Like they know we still do like flat file transfers for banks in the U.S. and that's how like trillions of dollars gets like it's not like they're FTPing files at nighttime. That's how the banking system works. We're expecting that nobody at the bank is going to be writing code by hand at the end of 6 months. It won't even be legal to use AI in these code bases still.
There was a
They
news
also
report
forget that
recently that
banking,
said that like
aerospace.
Oh, sorry.
So the banking, aerospace, finance, medical, like almost all of them have like pretty strict do not use LLM. Like some of them don't, but there is like a whole bunch of like you can't give away any of our competitive secrets. You cannot send any of this. So it's like there's entire industries that are just like completely resilient today
Government.
against this idea.
Government would.
That's like 5 out of almost. That's like 80% of coding I just named, and they can't use it.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm not scared.
Go, Casey. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to say I saw a news report recently, and I don't know. I mean, it was a news report, so who knows how accurate it was. But it said something like there are 3,600 separate programs that need to be run and communicate with each other to administer Social Security currently, much of which is written in COBOL, apparently, right? And so I'm just like, okay. Like that's happening now, right? And I don't know how good these LLMs are trained up on the various different incarnations of COBOL, but like that would be an interesting challenge. It's like, hey, can you redo any of this? But so far we just haven't seen that. Like we haven't seen people demonstrating that these things are able to do much undirected work by themselves, and even the directed work tends to be very buggy and strange. So I don't know. It just maybe they're gonna cross some barrier soon, but.
Well, Casey,
I don't know.
you may not love this answer that I'm about to drop on you, but DARPA, it's been researching a project called Tractor. And if you're unfamiliar with Tractor, converting all that insecure, unsafe, old man yelling at cloud C into the new kid on the block, Rust, making it safe, fabulous, and fantastic all at the exact same time.
There you go. They
can't
probably
wait
saw
for
the word
Tractor to
cargo
run
and they're
your
like,
house
that's
of
something
cards
we
over."
understand.
All right.
Cargo Road. They know.
Cargo Road, that's facts. All right, I'm going to give Trash Dev the last word. Trash, what do you have to say?
If you only know Tailwind, you're gonna get replaced by AI.
If you know Tailwind or if you don't.
If you only know Tailwind,
Oh, okay. Good.
Ooh, very
good luck.
good.
Very good take.
Why,
All right.
why am I getting? I got the last one last time.
Well, just because
trust
you're not
you.
talking a lot and you're kind of just a little bit lame these
I
days.
was
Here, Trash. I'll do another one for
talking.
you.
No, you
Be
guys,
like Levels.
you're like
I actually
you're like a
wanted
cleanup
to
batter. You're
address
the
your
most
whiteboard.
important.
That is so awesome. Wait,
Be
is
like
the
Levels.
teach dev is fake? Everything else is real.
Okay, be like Levels. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott.
I'm dropping an AI game. Don't you worry, man. You just wait. You just wait.
Hey, is that HTTP? Get that out of here. That's not how we order coffee. We order coffee via SSH, terminal.shop. Yeah, you want a real experience? You want real coffee? You want awesome subscriptions so you never have to remember again? Oh, you want exclusive blends with exclusive coffee and exclusive content? Then check out Cron. You don't know what SSH is? Well, maybe the coffee's not for you.
Terminal coffee.